Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Really, truly, authentically going on in this relationship. So welcome back to the Believe in Bruce channel, the home of body language, self-development, performance psychology, anything to do with the head and the heart. If you're interested about body language, understanding what's not being said, trying to figure out who's a liar.
We actually became really.
But also having the skills so that your partner can never, ever lie to you in the future about anything, then take 2 seconds to subscribe to the channel, because this may be the channel you've been looking for. And what more credibility do you need, what this sort of rubber stamp of approval, than from your very own Tiger King's Carol Baskin when she was asked who was the best body language reading specialist on the planet, even though I've done a video about her. Her response was quick and direct.
Believing Bruce, what he observes and speaks about is so accurate.
Thank you very much, Carol Baskin. So let's set the context here. On the front of this relationship, Will and Jada, they perceive their relationship and they try to communicate, convey, represent their relationship as if they've got everything as well, as if they've got their shit together. That's the image. Yeah, we're cool, we're funky, we do this, we do that, we talk about everything. But here what we've got is an example. Remember, autonomous reactions, that's what we're looking for in regards to body language. An instant reaction that's very, if nigh on impossible to control. This is the giveaways that we start to see the real truth, the authenticity that lies within this relationship. And it's not what they want to convey. It's not what they're trying to put over in their interactions on social media, on the news, etc. And I'm going to explain why and what, so you can observe what it is in this example, but also other examples out there. Again, for me, the first bit is that when it comes, now I don't know Jada's emotional baseline, I don't know her behavioural baseline, but what I notice under the table, a lot of people look for face giveaways, but body language has a lot of it to do with the legs and the feet, what's going on there. And you'll see at the start her legs are crossed. That's really defensive. Now, that may be her comfortable position, I don't know, but it's a very unusual position to sit, especially when you're discussing this topic with your partner. And the first bit that comes up is how she's explaining how her relationship developed with August. And you'll see that Will's nodding and he wants to come across, he's like in tune with her. But you'll also see that there's a couple of eye blocks from Will. And what this is eye blocking, it's shutting off those images. And again, without talking to him, just using my experience. At that point there, he's probably thinking, you know, I wish we didn't start that relationship. I wish we didn't invite August into our home, because this is the output of what's occurred from this position. But have a look and you'll see the eye blocks. Very subtle, but the eye blocks are there.
We actually became really good friends. And it all started.
But this one here is where we start to see Will's pacifying behaviour. All right, now Will is uncomfortable, he's embarrassed, he feels awkward. And the reason I'm going to offer that is he does a lot of what's called pacifying behaviours, either before, so pro-verbalisation, or post-verbalisation. He'll do a little laugh, a little giggle, he'll move to the side. So he wants to convey his point, but he doesn't feel like he's got the permission, the authority, the confidence to do so. So it's a bit like when someone says something to you that they may not have liked what you've done. They'll say something and they'll go, I'm just joking. No, they weren't. Everything they said before that was exactly what they meant. The I'm just joking bit allowed them to feel like they could say it for whatever reason. It gave them permission. And that's what you see with Will Smith throughout this interview, is these pacifying behaviours where he laughs or he giggles or he tries to brush something off, because he hasn't got the psychological safety to be able to offer what he wants to say in authentic, in calm, in a direct way. I don't know why, but you'll see the pacifying behaviour starts here. He says something and then there's that little giggle, there's that little shift. Have a look, tell me what you think.
You kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Now what's interesting here, you see Jada almost take control of that situation, because Will offers, yeah, there was a time where I thought that was it, we were done. And then she actually corrects him by her language and also the body language. No, she said, no, we were over, like, we were done. Will, don't have any ambiguity here, any unsureness, any lack of clarity about what was going on. 100% we were done.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over. You know?
We were over.
So it gives you a type of reflection on the words that Will uses and how he was seeing the relationship, but then also Jada's angle as well. It's like chalk and cheese. There was definitely two different lenses that was being looked through on the same relationship. Now this is interesting, this is where it gets really awkward. Because Will then offers, what did you do, Jada? Like, come on then, what did you then do?
And then what did you do, Jada?
So we've talked about this, we've talked about that. Puts your hand on the table and says, right, now say what you done. This is Will's opportunity because he wants to hear it. He maybe needs it for his internal soul, his self, his credibility, his self-belief, his respectability, his heart, whatever it may be. All right, but he needs her to say this. But what's really interesting here, remember they've got an authentic relationship, they're cool, they're hip, they're funky, all this type of stuff. Well, actually there's not, there's a bit of a weird energy going on here within this interview. And you'll see when Will asks this, both of them look down.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think from there,
You'll see both of them look down towards the floor. Remember, eye contact, it's one of the most powerful things out there. Powerful things that when you look at someone, you're looking into their soul, as the saying goes. But at this particular moment, they don't want that threat. They don't want that awkward. They don't want that connection. They can't have that connection. It's too overwhelming for them, which is why they look down. There is zero eye contact going on here. Now for me, where Jada comes into it is she's talking about that she didn't feel like she was being the best version of herself. She felt sad, she felt down, etc. And then when she starts talking about healing August, you'll see her face lights up. Like there's genuine energy there that she gets from healing someone. Have a look at this.
been so long since I felt good.
Right.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
Help heal somebody.
Yeah.
And again, there's this awkward type energy behaviour here where Will offers, you know, I didn't know if I was ever going to speak to you again. Now, this is where we get our old friend, the brain, coming involved. Because what's present here is adrenaline. It's fear. There is an adrenaline dump. And it's interesting because it's Will that starts it and then Jada reciprocates it. Because the words that Will has used, I didn't know if I was going to speak to you again, and then you'll see them start to move in the chair, they start to fidget, they start to try to prepare themselves, to make themselves more comfortable. That's adrenaline, and you can watch it in conversations around you as well. If you ever say something and you see somebody start to move or get agitated, that's an indicator, key performance indicator, that something hasn't landed well with them. And again, back to the old system here. The thalamus takes in that information, it directs it to the amygdala. The amygdala talks to the hypothalamus to the pituitary gland to the adrenal glands, boom! You get that adrenaline, and how you see it is that shift in the chair. That's an indicator that someone isn't happy in that particular moment there.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like...
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting, yeah, because when Will says, I want to get you back, then Jada, I already think you've done that. So I wonder what's actually happened in that dynamic, in that relationship. What has Will done in the past?
I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
Okay, that's probably true.
Because she seems to be authentic. And no, you've done that.
We're good on.
You have done that. Again, that there, the indicator, the finger, the straight finger, that is an indicator of an activity, of a task, or some type of situation that's occurred. No, you've done that. She's been very specific. Again, no ambiguity with that finger. What has Will Smith done in the past? And you also see here that Will starts to laugh. Now, it's the first time where really he's engaged with the camera crew. And again, that's his amygdala kicking in. That's the embarrassment. It's like, oh, we're having this conversation. Now he's feeling something inside. He's feeling awkward.
Okay?
And this last little bit of body language here is when they're talking about Will getting them back and they're joking and Will's doing that sort of pacifying laughter, etc., and he's moving. But what's a real key here is just watch for Will Smith raising he actually gets his cuff as if he's getting ready for a fight.
But yeah.
In this context here, what you've got is they're talking about a situation, they're talking about Will getting her back for whatever she's done, whatever he's done. Who knows? Obviously, there's a whole load of energy going on within this relationship. But what you see is that a thought has entered Will's head, and that's why at that particular moment he pushes up his sleeve, he's getting ready for a fight. He's getting ready to do something. And in the context of what's going on here, I do seriously think that he's got some type of plan, some activity, something to maybe get that one-upmanship back across for the activities that Jada has presented within that relationship, i.e. the affair she's had with August. So again, some very subtle body language giveaways that actually give a real in-depth indicator that this relationship is not all that we, and again, I'm not saying it's their fault, but that we may perceive this relationship to be. It's definitely not as open. It's definitely not as authentic. It's definitely not as collaborative. There is 100% awkwardness between the two people there, and almost more importantly, Will, with that last cuff roll, that shuffle of the cuff up the forearm, he's still got some type of negative energy in his head that allows him, the body presentation, start preparing for a fight, some type of interaction. So I hope you've enjoyed this little body language experiment just to give you an indicator of what's really going on underneath the surface. So you can start understanding other people's body language, but also yourself, to help you think, feel and act a little bit better. Remember, if you're interested in body language and you'd like to learn more about it, subscribe below. You can catch me at Instagram if you want to send me any examples you'd like me to look into. But more important than any of this, believe in Bruce. Remember to be kind to yourselves and each other.